ain't that the truth? Felvidek is a self-titled JRPG taking place in Slovakia during the 15th century. How this is a JRPG is that it takes clear inspiration from classic NES and SNES RPGs, which all happen to make up the roots of the JRPG genre. First thing that stands out to you as soon as you load the game up is the music. Marcel Guidot's Holy Crab is a Chechen psych rock band, and I just have to say, these guys get it, delivering an unforgettable soundtrack. I found myself not wanting to leave areas for long stretches to hear how the entire song plays out. Just like other games can be playable music albums, Felvidek is the same, but for psych rock. The music can be important to the plot and how an area feels, so I'm only going to play a little bit here as well. The graphics are hand-painted in the game, while having some nice faux PS1 cutscenes. I say faux as it's clearly homage given the additional detail put into the character's texture work, allowing for a cohesive art style regardless of 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional. There can also be some roughness, like NPCs having stiff animations, but the main characters are well animated and well made. As for the gameplay, it's RPG Maker. This means it's meant to emulate your classic JRPGs. You have your main character and your party members. Everyone has stats, equipment, and skills, which can all be seen in the party menu. In combat, you get a standard RPG menu that lets you select from attacking or using a feint, which is just the game's word for skill or using tools. Tools are also just what the game calls mana. At certain points, you'll be given choices in your course of action. These choices will have an impact on your ending, but it won't change the actual ending itself. The rest of the game is talking to people, walking around, and searching the environment, albeit with phenomenal music. Now you're probably wondering about the plot and everything that's going on. Firstly, this all takes place in 15th century Slovakia, in Slovak originally, so a lot of the English will be flowery and sound like Old English, and at times there will be untranslated expletives and exclamations, but overall, it reads like a classic piece of literature, but just the dialogue with some minor spelling mistakes. Felvidek opens with our main character Pavel witnessing an explosion at an old ruin from his window. After warning the lord of the castle and being told to sober the fuck up and talk to the priest Matej, Pavel sets off. After our return with a coffee bean engraved with strange markings, we find one of the guards, Johnsy, indisposed because of a shadowy woman. After some scheming, we track down the woman, and it drags us down a rabbit hole chasing a cult that's deeply entrenched itself within the kingdom of Felvidek. I've been vague on details up until this point because I hope you'll play this game, but I also want to talk about it. If you don't want me to spoil this short game for you, please click to here.
What do you think the secret to life is? The secret? Ain't no secret. Stop being disobedient to the Almighty.
So Pavel is in the kingdom of Felvidek because his wife has left him and he's on a bender right now. Going back to the woman who poisoned Johnsy, that's Pavel's wife. The poison she gave to Johnsy mutated him, where he could climb into Pavel's window and attempt to kill him. It's with this, the Lord takes us completely serious and tasks us with getting to the bottom of the cult. Checking the village out gives a few leads. First is the burgomaster, pretty much just like the mayor. The next lead is the Jew. Look, I didn't write this, and they aren't disrespectful about it, so I'm just gonna keep calling him the Jew, as we don't ever get a name from him. So I did some running around, and stumbled on the priest of the village and the brothel. Naturally, our companion Matej is furious about this, and we got sidetracked into some trouble just to be told to go see the burgomaster anyway. The burgomaster, it turns out, isn't with the cult. He just thought it was good business, and he's way in over his head, and offers to pay big for protection. After tying up some loose ends, we've discovered that the beans are cursed, and the cult is easily identified by purple robes and fanged armor. The next morning, we set out with our new leads, so I went straight back to the village. We then bumped into a cultist begging for help because another one of them was being drowned, so we decided to help him out, and he joined for the fight. After the fight, they just kind of trust us now and take us straight to their base. Look, if you joined a cult, you probably aren't the smartest either by today's educational standards. So we get loyalty checked at the door and need to go steal the Lord's porno stash. I figure no need for theft, right? So we ask the Lord for his painting to gain the cultists' trust. While Matesh cheers the Lord up with a game of chess, Pavel goes on his own to meet the leader of the cult to play our ruse against them. Their leader falls for it and tasks Pavel with a gruesome chore. I'm going to pick up the pace here a little bit because a lot of betrayals happen within the cult, and it ends up with Paula, Pavel's wife, stabbing him in the chest. The cult has also kidnapped Matej because to keep Pavel from drinking, they swapped outfits, and Paula wanted Pavel captured so they could kill him. Then it shifts perspective to Paula to show that the cult controls Ahriman, the demon they summoned to curse the coffee beans. In his final moments, Pavel is tormented by a devil until an angel banishes it and resurrects Pavel, gifting him with a blessed sword that's permanently ablaze. Adam, the nobleman that they requested to aid with the investigation, finally arrives. He comes across Pavel right after his salvation, and they depart at once to rescue Matej. After the negotiations, the party is back together and now seeks an alternative route into the old castle ruins. Adam informs them that the Jew has a flying contraption that Pavel's new sword should work well with. After rescuing the village, the Jew takes you to his hot air balloon, allowing us to fly to the upper level of the ruins. Here they use the blessed blade to kill Ahriman and collect his cursed blade. Although Ahriman is defeated, the cult is still active in performing their ascension ritual. Chasing the cult back to the village, they uncover a hidden passage under the catacombs, which leads to a giant lizard called the Meat Keep. When you catch up to the cult leader, Marek, he says it's too late and that he has already ascended. Pavel just says we're gonna beat your fucking ass anyway. After we defeat him, Marek is rendered incapacitated by the cursed blade of Ahriman, and he is brought before the village to face justice. As the villagers are stoning Marek, they recognize Paula and scream for her blood, blaming her for this as she was the cult's most powerful witch. Ultimately, even after everything she did to him, even murder, Pavel still loves his wife, even if she doesn't. He chooses forgiveness and love instead of wrath and misery. I presume Pavel spends one last time with Paula in the hot air balloon before parting ways to begin their new lives alone. I really like this ending. It's about how no matter how bad things get, you can get through it with a little love and compassion. Also swords. Those helped a lot too. Felvidek is a surprising game, made with some old tools, sure, but that doesn't stop its heart from shining through. These people clearly cared about this story, and they wanted to do it right. Despite its minor flaws, Felvidek isn't here to waste your time or jerk you around. It has a story it wants to tell, and it leaves you on a high note. They do leave it open for a potential sequel, and honestly, I'd like to see what this team can do with that. Leave your comments, questions, or recommendations down below or by email. Thanks for watching.